Beautiful souls, welcome, welcome back, or welcome to the Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or on my live feeds, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Well, we made it. Happy Friday. It's good to see you all here this morning. I am doing the energy update for next week, as well as an Ask the Medium session. So it is a long weekend here in Canada. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. And that being said, I more than likely will not be here on Monday. So I thought I would do the energy update today for next week, which is a little bit different, but it's okay. And then we'll shift into some questions from for Ask the Medium, and I'll hang out a little bit longer today than I normally can on a Friday morning. So here we are on a beautiful, beautiful day. I was up last night checking out the Northern Lights. What an amazing light show we had here, and it wasn't even that dark. There is some light pollution in my end of the town, but I was still able to have an amazing, amazing view. So those of you who are able to see those northern lights, man, it was an exciting, delicious dance of energy. So next week, so for the energy update for Monday the 14th, I am going to do that right now, as well as a little bit over the weekend. And the weekend, being Thanksgiving here, of course, we're going to be reminded of all the things to be grateful for and a lot of gratitude coming in. Lindsay, yes, oh so cool you saw them. Yeah, it was phenomenal. Hey there, Kayla. I see you guys all coming in. So next week, so when I sat with the energy for next week, it was very interesting, and it's more of a reminder, I think, is as versus energy. I'll leave it here with you guys, and you guys can kind of pick that apart as if it's energy or if it's more of just an awareness. Next week, I felt a lot of people kind of shifting into needing more validation from other people. So validation energy seems to be floating in, and I feel like it was too. It felt like we were being pulled out from ourselves, from our own knowing, from our own path, kind of thing. So watch for needing more validation next week, and remember to honor yourself. Yes, it's fantastic to have validation and support from other people, but I just felt like there was too big of a reach. I just felt like it was, there was too much depending on it kind of energy as it needs to be okay with everybody else before I can feel okay with it. We often rely on friends and loved ones for support and encouragement. And it just felt like a little bit too much. Like we're being pulled out of who we are and what we want to do. It's okay to lean in there a little bit, but it's almost like watch that balance. You need to trust what you feel more than what you hear or see. And if spirit was extremely loud with it this morning, I kept kind of, like leaning, not that I was leaning out, but kind of leaning into more of a different perspective on it. And spirit kept pushing me back in. It's it's also a bit of a habit to need to have that external validation from other people. We it's kind of a behavior that we've kind of been accustomed to since the time we were very, very young. Are my grades good enough? Am I good enough? And needing that constant validation, you can seek too much of it, and it's kind of more of a self-awareness on how do you feel. And that's what spirit kept going over and over and over again, with how do you feel, what matters to you, what do you want to do. And it's okay to do you, and follow your dreams and follow your goals and back on your path. And that's what spirit kept showing me, was it's that loving guide, that loving hand from our spirit guides, with no, you need to go your way. It's okay to do it your way. And sometimes we get pulled in into other people's stuff too much, or we seek too much of that validation from other people. It also can lead us into a lot of fears, right? So the fear of rejection, difficulty trusting ourselves, higher levels of anxiety, so just kind of work on that next week. Just kind of remember that I said it. If you find yourself seeking too much validation, where you're not following your true self or doing what you want to do, just give yourself permission. It's going to come up next week for many of us. And I also felt coming in the next week, and it was a little bit of that. I'm going to use the words overthinking, to the point where our sleep patterns are going to be interrupted. I just felt like we were going to be in here too much with, is this right for me? Should I pull 10 people and make sure I'm on the right path? And spirit just kept saying, trust your gut, follow your own intuition, be able to lean in there. And what often happens is when we do that, and I'm sure you will all nod your head, what will people think of me? What will people think of me? Am I doing this? What will people think of me? It kept coming up over and over in my meditation when I not that I was trying to lean out of it, but I was just trying to pick up more of the energy for the week. And Spirit kept saying to me, this is the energy for the week. You don't need an excessive amount of validation. You need to be your own cheerleader, and you need to be comfortable in walking your own path. So that may come up as you know, as far as I have choices to make, or I decisions to make. Come and ask yourself first before you pull 10 people, how does it feel for you? Trust what you feel. And if you have a desire, to need more time and into figuring that out, take it. Take the time to feel through things next week. Take the time to sit with it. It doesn't always have to be fast paced all the time and validation all the time and needing that all the time. Give it to yourself. Just it will be interesting to see what next week brings, because I think at I even kind of like struggle. Am I understanding this right? And Spirit was like, yeah, it's going to be about a validation week, and it needs to come from you. So that probably is going to push us into some deeper personal growth, being a little bit more okay with how we're feeling, trusting our own gut, trusting our own intuition. And when you think about that, when we grow that trust factor, that trust muscle, when we grow that, that kind of leads us into different things too, right? So I think that there's going to be some building up there of learning to trust and learning to come home to ourselves and not needing that constant validation from other people. You need to be okay with yourself first, right? And I get it. While this energy update is really resonating with me, I really appreciate you sharing that, because not that I just kind of mulled in it a little bit because I wasn't really expecting it as an energy update. I didn't feel like that until I sat in it longer. So I'm glad that it's resonating there. And sometimes, excuse me, sorry, I'm a little raspy this morning. I hope I'm not coming down with anything. Sometimes we don't understand it in the moment. Even myself, when I channel things, I'll often say, it's not making sense in the moment for me. But perhaps as the week goes on next week, it will have that light bulb go off. I always just trust it. The only validation I need is from me and how I'm feeling and what they're telling me. So as you kind of muddle through next week, just remember that I said it. The other thing that came up for me in my meditation this morning was pursue your goals actively with passion. Pursue your goals actively with passion. So, and I think sometimes, when we're working on things, we kind of don't go all in all the time. And I think that next week is really going to be presenting us something delicious, and with our goal setting. Just remember that I said it, but go after it with passion. We've got to go after it. And this does connect with a little bit to the needing the validation. Am I on I'm needing validation. I'm needing validation. If it's what you want, pursue it. Pursue your goals actively with passion. I love that so much. I actually wrote it down on a little post-it note, and I posted it on my fridge this morning, because I am going to lean into that full tilt next week to pursue my goals actively with a bit more passion. And when you think about passion, when you think about that word, what a word. I literally sat there, that word passion, and felt the deliciousness of the word. I know it sounds kind of funny, but I did. And I felt that, because I think sometimes we lose our passion, or we don't put enough into our passion, or if we're not getting validation for our passion, or if it's not coming to us at the speed that we want it to, we kind of step out of that and we go back into the robotic wash, rinse, repeat in life, right? So whatever passions that you have, pursue them actively next week. It's going to be an incredible week to do that. I hope that this energy update resonated with you this morning. I just seen one comment that it really did, and that's always good enough for me. If one person gets something out of it, it's good. It's good enough. If I get something out of it, how delicious! Thumbs up if you enjoyed that. I'm just going to move my notes over, because I had a lot of notes kind of from what I took. All right, I'm going to scroll up. This does help. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. I do have a little bit of time with you guys this morning, so let's grab some questions or topics. If there's some topics that you want to just kind of talk a little bit about this morning, you're welcome to put them in the comment section as well. Good morning. Oh, look at all you guys. Hope you have a great week. There's Erin, Kayla. Kayla is on this morning. Kayla, I hope you're settling in. And well, Kayla, so when I saw your name, I felt like this snuggle energy. I felt like you were just snuggling into where you are and how, and kind of like getting comfortable in the new space and, your new location and kind of figuring it out. I just felt very snuggled. I just wanted to kind of like snuggle you up. Hi there, Lindsay. Look at you guys all coming in. I've been working on connecting with my spirit guides. Well done, you according to your tips and have been getting the most beautiful answers. It's truly been a spirit guided week. Thank you. You are very welcome. And you know what? I think, thanking yourself for trusting that and thanking yourself for navigating through it. And I'm sure you found a few of your own, tricks or ways, your own ways to connect them with your guides. The more that you connect there with your guides, the more questions that you ask, the more that you lean in there, the more that you trust, the more that you get. So that is beautiful. Melissa, would love any messages from my dad, please. Melissa, as soon as I saw your name there, I literally felt the pat on my shoulder with I'm here. Literally, it was like a tap, tap, tap on my shoulder. Melissa, I also feel like I feel like you have grown so much. Dad showed me that you have grown, with a different kind of connection with him. And he's just letting you know that he feels that as well. He feels that different connection that you're working on. And then he's also showing me the sky. So I'm just curious as if there's been any sky reference, with either spirit signs or if you've been talking under the sky, because he keeps putting me under a brilliant sky. And he keeps going like this. He's hearing you. So that chit chat and that advice or that guidance that you're asking for, he's hearing you and he's got you supported up. They said Illinois might see the northern lights, but I didn't find any. They can be hard to see. I mean, depending on how much light that you have. I would just keep your eye on the sky. All right. Good morning, Lana. I have a question for you. Is this man I'm talking to worth all the energy I'm investing? So I do feel like I do feel like this person has crossed your path, and I feel like there's a bit of a teacher energy there. Like they're coming to teach you something. And the first thing that I kind of heard is I have to. I don't know if there's been a pattern with not equal investment with people. Like you invest your time with people, but they don't equally invest your time. I don't feel bad with this person at all, but I feel like I have to say there's just a bit of a repeat lesson here with investing of energy. So, I think that, it has to be more of a balanced investment. Are you seeing a balanced investment? And I think that it's more of a lesson. I think that there's something to learn. Not in a bad way, but there's growth here with investing of energy. And I just want to kind of like branch off a little bit. Energy is a two-way street when it comes to investing and investing it. And I feel like there's just something there that's trying to teach you that, if that makes sense there. But I do feel quite good in the energy, but I keep coming back to matching you with the investment. So and I think that's really important. I think it's been something that you've seen before in your journey, and I just have to I keep seeing that word mutual investment of energy. Um, Tia, do you think tomorrow will go good for me? I'm really nervous about something I have to do. I literally, as I was reading that, I was free falling into just trusting. I would try and balance a little bit of the nerves. I would try and shift those nerves into some confidence. I know I know I need to go this way. I know I can handle it. I feel like I've got to do a little bit more of that self-talk there, Tia, with just kind of like settling down the nerves, acknowledging them and talking to them, acknowledging them and talking to them. I do feel it's going to go well for you, and I feel like if this makes sense, I feel like you're doing the right thing. I felt no matter what the outcome, I feel like you're doing the right thing, if that makes sense there. And when I come back into that just literally went like that back into you, I really feel that you know that. Like I feel you've got a deep sense of knowing that. If that makes sense. Camilla, hey, Lana, thank you for telling me not to wait to talk to my dentist. Oh, I was reacting to my toothpaste and was getting some open sores in my mouth next day. Figuring it out quickly saved me a lot of pain. Camilla, I'm really happy for you. And well done trusting and well done listening. Know that you have to listen, but I'm glad that worked out there for you, my darling. Lana, I had to distance myself last week from two toxic friends. I'm just not in the same space as before. Any messages from spirit for me today? Thank you so much. Number one, I think that it's great that you trusted what you needed, that your energy trusted what you needed. Sometimes as we grow, and I'll talk about this, as we grow spiritually and as we see things with different lenses, it's very normal and natural that we have to step back sometimes from situations, people, places. As we grow, and I always wish people well on their journey. I wish you well, but I have to go this way, and I've talked about a lot of that before. um I, you know, I feel that with those people, I do feel that that they're learning too. And I have to be a little bit just kind of like, I have to step back lovingly. They're having their own experiences. I just have to shift a little bit about that, but I also have to congratulate you. I also feel that I've got to say it's okay. I don't. I just need to give you a little bit of reassurance. It's okay to step back. We do struggle with that. We do struggle with. I've got to get over here to kind of I got, look after my own energy, and I feel like I just got to kind of get you. If you can get to a space where you can be okay with that, because I think that it comes up a lot for you in the future, and it comes up for many of us where we have to step back in order to protect our peace at all costs, right? And it's not a negative thing to do, because sometimes we get too far into the people pleasing, or I've known these people forever. It doesn't mean that you have to stop wishing them well. I wish them well on their journey. I'm just not resonating there anymore. As we go spirit, as we grow spiritually, this happens because we grow at different rates with people. Hopefully these two friends figure out their own growth, and if not, that's their journey. I just have to kind of soften that word toxic. They're just figuring out their journey. You see how different that feels, even though you don't agree, or you don't resonate. It's okay, they're figuring out their journey. I always try to let people go in that vibration, right? Because I try really hard to not I'm going to use the word label, or make assumptions or whatever with people. They're on their own path, and I just have to give you permission to be on your own path. But it does happen. And put a little comment here if you've had experiences where you've grown in a different direction, where other people's energy that once served you, it just doesn't resonate with you anymore. And it's okay. We're supposed to grow in different directions. And as humans, we often feel we need a reason, or we need to have a moment where things get heated. We don't. It's just, I lovingly wish you well. I need to go this way for a little bit, or this way for a while, or this way permanently as we grow. And we do outgrow people, we outgrow situations, we outgrow experiences, and it's a because of growth, and growth is a beautiful thing. Fran, good morning, darling. Camilla, or Rachel to Camilla, glad you got some answers, and I hope you're feeling better. Area, good morning. May I ask for a general message? I feel like I've been in this transition state in my life for the last couple of years. Thank you. I'm just gonna have a wee sip of my hot lemon tea here. I feel fine, but my voice is a little bit raspy. Maybe my voice box just hasn't woken up yet. Okay. Okay, so Aria, I hope I pronounced that, or Aria, I hope I pronounced your name right there, darling. I feel like I've got to, okay, so you're talking about I've been in this transitional state in my journey the last couple of years. So I feel like I've got to frolic in that. I feel like I've got to look at it from a different point of view. I'm in a transitional state. I need to celebrate it. I am learning and I'm growing, and the next step is coming to me. I feel like when we're going through transitions, it can be a while. It can be a while. Same thing with healing. When we're healing something, man, it can feel really slow and it can take a while. But we're working through it, and I'm doing the best that I can to work through this transitional state. And I also feel there's been more growth out, and into the next step in the next space. And I just feel like you're just not quite seeing it yet. And I feel like I have to say it's okay. I can take my time. I'm here for an experience in this life, and I'm taking my time, and I am growing and I am working, because I do feel that you are doing the work. I do feel that. I just feel like it's like slower. And I can say to you, and I'm sure many people here can say to you, that they when they look back in reflection, they can see that they were in this space of transition for a long time. And and it's all about growth, and it's all about the readiness, and it's all about the learning. And I feel like I just have to soften that. I also feel though that you're doing really well in honoring your transitional space. I'm working through it. And I feel like once like you have gained momentum lately. I do feel like it's like I can feel like a slow moving train that's kind of starting to get that chug a lug. Just trust the process. I'm trusting the process. I'm healing as I go. I'm learning as I go. And and I feel like I just gotta soften that a little bit. Just I need to be a little bit more softer on yourself. I feel like that's one thing that it keeps popping up is I just gotta be I just gotta allow. Who cares? Who cares? Back in Fran just laughed. I heard her. I heard her through the screen. Who cares how long it takes as long as I'm working on it? Right? You see how different that feels? All right. Hope that resonates there with you. I'm Mandeep. Hello, Lana. I hope you're doing well. Just wondering if there is a guidance or message for me. Lots of love and light. So I'm Andy. I feel I just suddenly saw like a great big like what do you call those big lights? Like a strobe light or some kind of light, great big light that's been shining at your feet. Has there been something, Mandeep, that's been kind of has new directions or something new or new interests that you're kind of like wondering, should I follow the light or should I follow this path? I feel like I have to say, just follow your feet, follow your path, follow your direction, and I feel like there's new directions that are coming for you. So just remember that I said it if it's not resonating in this red hot moment. I feel like you've got some new directions coming in there. And I just feel like I have to say, follow your inner compass on it. Spirit is guiding you with light at your feet. When I see light at someone's feet, it's new direction or shining the light for you to see so you can take your own steps, or you're hesitating to find to take a next step. I'll leave that there for you. Planning on waiting a couple days. So grateful for that message, Lana. You are very welcome, darling. Okay, Diane, I'm curious to know if my twins have the same spirit guides or if they each have their own. So I do feel that they each have their own guides, but I also feel that there's a connection between with one of their spirit guides and I can see it as coming in and out, a spirit guide that comes in and out that they both share, and I think that they both share this particular guide when it comes to emotional stuff. There seems to be an emotional connection between the two twins and one spirit guide, but they do have their own spirit council. And you know what? I've never really given this much thought. So thanks for Diane for asking that. And I would probably ask it with every twin. I would never ever say something is solid and this is the way it is. But I do feel that they have their own spirit guides council because they come for their own journey. So, when we come here and we come here with a team from our spirit council, it's very individualized because even though they're twins and they have a lot of similarities, they're still coming here for their own individual experiences. But that doesn't mean that they can't cross over, right? So, I have had spirit guides go to other people. I've had people say, "Oh my gosh, Lana, I think I can describe one of your guides because I've seen them," and they gave a complete description, and it's something that I had never shared. So I do feel like guides can help other people, and we can share guides with people 100%. And it's the same thing if you connect with the archangels. If I'm talking to Archangel Michael, that doesn't mean that he's only with me. He can be in multiple places at once because he's non-physical. So I think it's the same thing. I do think that there can be a crossover or shared guides, but I also feel that there is an individual spirit council for each person who's here having an experience. And great question, Diane. I love that. I have a cold now too, so that would be fun at the same time. I am going to fight. If I am coming down with something, it's a long weekend here. I am going to fight it. So I will be gobbling up black seed oil and oregano oil and other stuff, other vitamins to kind of boost. It could just be, sleeping with the window open last night. I'm hoping that's all it is because I feel fantastic. A little bit of lack of sleep because I was up with the Northern Lights and then I was up chatting with Spirit and then I couldn't sleep. But I think I'm okay. But I am going to double up on the vitamins, Camilla. I'll tell you that right now. Rachel, the energy update is very for me right now. Thanks for sharing. You're very welcome. Oh, I just went too fast with my mouse. Okay, there we go. It's you. You're really resonating with that energy update. Well done. You see, and I just want to kind of come back to that for a moment. So, even though when I was channeling the energy update and I wasn't 100% sure, because it felt different, right? It just came to me different. Many of you have already stated that you needed to hear that and that it resonated. So, so that's trust, right? So, and that's what I was talking about with trusting what you feel and trusting what you know. And, trusting without validation, just show up and trust it. It's so important. Okay, Shylan, a silly question. Do you feel like my dog Puck can take a can take a walk off the leash in the forest and behave well? She never has before. If she can, I'm willing to go practice with her today. So, Shy, do I feel she's ready in this red hot moment? No. Do I feel like she's ready to practice it? Yes. So, I don't know if you have like a long leash, or so you can start with the shorter leash and then move her up to a longer leash and work on recall. I feel like she needs a bit. I feel like Puck needs a bit more practice, and I feel like she's ready for a bit more of that practice. So, even if it's like unclipping the leash for a moment and giving her a moment, I'm not convinced that she understands the recall. And I feel like I need to practice even recall at home. So you can have her sit at one end of your home and recall her back, have her come to you. I need to practice recall. I don't feel like she has a deep understanding of that yet. And I also feel Puck has a very sporadic. It's like more so recently. I don't know what it is with recently, but I feel like she's got more of a sporadic thought process where, oh, I don't have to listen to the recall right now because I smell something over there. I need to practice that more. I feel like I'm ready for more practice, or ready for more of a long leash, or a long rope. Maybe take a rope and attach it to the handle of the leash and give her more. But I need to be able to keep her connected because I don't think she's understanding the recall yet. Hope that makes sense. Easy Puff. I sleep over with my sister last week and got disturbed because I found lice in our hair. This is a major trauma because we bought the right things for it, or do I need to spend $300 to treat it? How long? Okay. Easy Puff. I don't feel okay. So I don't feel like you need to spend that much money. And I don't know a whole lot about treating lice, but I feel like there's something that you can do that's not going to cost you as much money. And I feel like I have to say, I get it. I get it. I wouldn't want to experience that either. But I feel like the old trauma there is like an old thought on the meaning of it, right? You know what I mean by that? It doesn't mean that you're dirty. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. I feel like I've got to lift that off. It's something that's not fun to treat. Totally understand. But I feel like I've got to kind of, so what? We'll treat it. Right. And I get it, Easy Puff. I wouldn't want to, it's not a great experience, and I'm not taking away from that. But I feel like I just have to shift some of that anxiety or some of that worry or some of that trauma a little bit. I'm not sure on, again, on what treatments. I don't have knowledge on that. But I feel like, I keep feeling drops of essential oil. So perhaps do a little bit of research on that. I don't feel the need to spend that $300. I feel like there's a more cost-effective way to work through that. Um, Snuggle energy sounds so cute, right? Lana, I'll work with a social worker to get a new type of income. Do you see the authority approving the request to get it? Wes, I've always felt very good with your situation, even when it's been hard. I do feel that you're going to get to the other side of this and be able to support yourself. I feel like I know, like I've got to keep knocking on doors of opportunity to kind of bring in more of an income. And I feel like you've got to turn up the manifesting. So, just start working on the manifesting, on that coming into you. I don't have a worried Wes at all. And if it's not this approval, it's going to lead you to approval as to where there is income. But I also feel, Wes, there's something that hasn't been applied for in the past that you qualify for a very long time. It's almost like the system either didn't tell you or you didn't have knowledge about it. There's something there. Kayla, my boyfriend's mom and sister visited because of the hurricane. They made me feel so snuggly and helped me settle in. There's the snuggle energy. There's the snuggle. All right. Uh, Topic of feeling lost and what that means spiritually. So quite often, okay, the feeling of lost. I'm gonna have a sip of my. This is a really good question. You guys, I love it when you throw stuff at me. I really do. The feeling of loss is quite often connects to our awareness that we're not where we're supposed to be. It's also part of an awareness. I don't like the word awaken. I truly don't. It's also part of an awareness. There we go. It's part of an awareness that there's more. It's part of an awareness that I'm not quite where I'm supposed to be, and I'm not sure where that is. So the feeling lost is actually a growth. It truly is spiritually it truly does connect to growth because your awareness that there's something more. You're aware that you're not where you're at. There's just, we don't always understand it, but it comes across as this feeling, I'm feeling really lost right now. And that feeling of loss kind of shifts us into seeking and feeling and exploring and finding what resonates with us. And I think everybody that's listening today, or everybody watching a replay later on, will put up their hand if I say, have you ever felt lost? And then once you start kind of navigating through that space, you kind of come out the other side with some growth, and you understand why that lost feeling came in when it did. I can reflect back where I've really felt lost, and it kind of motivated me into start seeking and learning and test tasting and experiencing and putting down fears. And when I look back now, I think if I wouldn't have had that feeling of loss and uncertainty, I wouldn't have motivated myself to keep searching and keep growing and keep learning. So that feeling of loss is kind of like like your spiritual sense is saying it's time to move into something different. It's time to kind of like, learn something different. You're not where you're supposed to be. You're not where you're supposed to be, moving somewhere else. So that feeling comes to us when it's time, and a push. It's kind of like a push to grow. Here, push yourself this way. Try that. I also feel with the feeling of loss, we kind of lean into not wanting to make a mistake. What if I try that and it doesn't work? And then we stay in that sense, that feeling of being lost. We're not truly, we may be uncertain, we may have the feeling of loss, but it's a push. It really is a push spiritually to shift, to learn, to grow, to explore, to experiment. Right. And we as humans, some of those words really can bring up an anxiety. Experiment, explore. What if it doesn't work out? See, and then we take a look at the rest of the world. Well, that group of people are trying that, and that group of people are trying that. And sometimes we will lean too much. This comes back into a little bit of the validation part, but seeking validation is sometimes we'll start seeking validation. Am I good enough? Maybe I'll go over there and see if I fit in there. Maybe if I go and see if I fit in there. The feeling of loss is like you've outgrown certain things. And it's the, oh, thank you. I like how they gave that to me. You've outgrown the space that you're in, and it's a push to continue to grow. Thank you very much for that question. I love that so much. So glad you're connecting with your spirit guides. That's my plan this weekend, to try and identify some. Rachel, just allow it. Right. And I always say, go to your magical space to connect with your spirit guides. For me, the most powerful connections with my guides is when I head to the forest or outside. And that really was a big, huge benefit with my growth. And that's how Estrid came to me. So Estrid came to me when I was outside hiking. I literally stuck my head. I thought it would be fun to put my head into a waterfall. It was fun. It was cold, but it was fun. And when I brought my head up, threw my hair back, my soaking wet hair, there was Estrid. So, I think when we get outside, it just brings so much clarity, and we kind of allow more for many of us. But I always say, to connect with your guides, go to your magical place, even in meditation. I'll just sit and I'll think about the forest, I'll think about the water, I'll think about the sky, and that's where I'll meet them. Um, I want to so badly suggest a topic, but I can't think of any. Oh, Shy, you're so cute. I don't feel okay, Maria. Did I miss a Maria question? Let me just scroll back up. I may have missed something Maria said. Maybe not. Maria, Lana, yesterday I had a dream that felt so real. I was in the spirit realm, and I intentionally set the intention to meet with my dad and Archangel Michael. They both showed up, and oh, Maria, that is beautiful. I love that so much, and, and you described it beautifully, and you set the intention, and you probably had the biggest depth of trust that you ever had, and I love that for you, and, Maria, and I'm just curious, did you feel them or were you able to see them? Because, it can work very differently, it can work, I know they're here, I can see them, I can feel them. I'm just curious, darling, well done you. I'm so happy for you that you had that experience. I don't feel like it was astral projection, it was more of a lucid dream. With the with the spirit guides like that, and with connecting with people who've passed, it does feel very much like a lucid dream. It feels like you're really there, and I think sometimes, for some people, it may feel like they've traveled to a location, and really you have. When you think about it, you've met either angels and guides, or you've met your loved ones from the spirit dimensions. And I think, we can tend to kind of overthink that a little bit, because even when I am reading, I don't necessarily feel like I'm fully here. Like when I'm channeling, I'm not fully here in the physical. Sometimes I'm somewhere in between. Sometimes I'm fully over there, and so it kind of, it does have a very interesting feeling. And lucid dream is probably a beautiful word. And setting the intentions is such a powerful, powerful thing. You just have to be able to let go and just trust it. And sometimes we have to use our other senses. We don't always see them. It can be a feeling, it can be a knowing, it can just be an awareness, right? So, well done, Maria, and I'm so happy for you. Well done. Mandy, good morning. Any messages for me? Randy, I need to slow down my breathing. I know it's going to sound a funny when I was listening for advice, and then I suddenly felt I needed to slow it down. I needed to slow it down my breathing, and I needed to take my time. So, I feel like I need to take my time. So, Mandy, have you been rushing or feeling the vibration of everything is moving so fast? Everything is moving so fast. I just felt like I needed to slow down. I'm just going to slow down and be. I'm going to slow down and trust. I'm just going to slow. I need to slow it down. If you can slow it down even for just for an hour, I know life can be life, but I feel like I needed to literally slow it down. And it was an interesting feeling because I wanted to listen, and I just needed to slow it down. Hope that makes sense there, Mandy. If it doesn't make sense, give it a try. There's got to be a reason for it. It was so beautiful. Archangel Michael is an energy, and light was majestic. Electric blue fire, I bet. Electric blue fire. Okay, Lindsey Graham. I kept dreaming about my grandmother and felt her in my room last night. Is she leveling up? What message is important? So, Lindsay, when I leaned in there, I felt it more of you're not alone. I felt it more of a support. I feel it like, I need you to know that I'm here. And I need you to know that it's not just me that's supporting you. I feel like the support is more than what you may be feeling. So when we don't feel supported, when we kind of like, I know people care, I know I got some support, but I feel like I've got to say you're very supported. You're very loved. Your hand is being held. You are guided, and there's framework there for you to lean on. I also feel that when I go there even deeper, Lindsay, I feel like I have to say, um, your internal strength is like superhero power. I feel like it's like, okay, just so strong. And what's funny is I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. How I'm seeing it is, I'm seeing it as like a muscle, like defined muscles, like Popeye. There we go, like that really strong. And you're not weak. You don't need to be carried. And I'm gonna say it, and it's funny, but you're not olive oil, right? So you're strong, and you're not fragile, and your grandmother's trying to show you that. It's kind of interesting how she was. I processed it for a minute. You probably saw me process what I was seeing. You're so strong. And you're so supported, and that needs to kind of like be enough, if that makes sense, Lindsay. So I'm not quite sure why I needed to put that. You're enough, and it needs to be enough. All right. Maria, I felt this energy once too. Majestic is right. Today is my birthday. Happy birthday, Linda. Or, sorry, Lindsay. I don't think my grandmother showing up is that, but there's been happening a few weeks, but maybe it's why she's here. I feel like I said, I feel like it's important. Happy birthday to you. I also feel, Lindsay, I feel like it's also an acknowledgement of your own spiritual growth. I really feel that it's acknowledging of your own spiritual growth. Shy, tell my parents that Lana, tell my parents that it's okay that we grow and work in different ways. I have the same argument with them every day at this point about me not being a morning person. They are. So stop arguing. You've already said it. I know you're probably like, oh no, stop arguing. And it's very simple. You've explained it. I would, if you have to get up and do something, well, I think that that's a bit different. But I would stop arguing. Why are you arguing? If you've already explained it and you need a little bit more space or time in the morning, I would stop arguing. I would also acknowledge that their intention is to help. They're just not seeing your side of it, because I don't feel like your parents' intention is to be mean or to not be supportive. I feel like it's lack of understanding. Once we've explained things a few times, the people get out of the vibration of argument. I won't argue. I won't. I will share my feelings if it comes back to me as a lack of understanding or lack of because sometimes it's just that people just don't understand, and it's okay. I won't fight against that. Don't fight against that. Don't. I've already explained myself. And I would just simply do that. I've already explained myself. It. I just want them to accept it at this point. Okay, so you want them to accept it. Why? I know I'm challenging here. Why? It comes back again to what we talked about earlier, Shy, with the outside validation. They don't have to accept that. I know you want to. You're like, oh, Lana, blah, blah, blah. I know they don't have to, right? So, but you don't have to argue with it. You've explained it. Stay in your alignment. Don't go. Stay in your lane. This is the routine that works for me. You've already had the discussion. Stop the arguing. And I wouldn't push for them to accept it. People don't have to accept it. It's and I think that vibrationally, should I just think about this? If I wanted you to accept something that you couldn't understand or that didn't resonate with you, would you be able to? It doesn't resonate with them. Sleeping in or not being a morning person doesn't resonate with them. So stop arguing. Don't match that vibration. And one thing that you can, if they bring up a discussion, you can just simply say, I have lovingly explained myself already. I struggle in the morning. Don't argue. Right. So we cannot force people to accept anything. No matter how big or how small, and this may be a small, do we want to be accepted? Yes. Do people have to accept our whatever it is, our belief system, our needs, our desires? They do not have to, right? So and kind of reverse that back onto yourself. Do I have to accept everything if I don't understand it? No, I don't. Right? I would perhaps work, with a little bit of mom and dad, I know that this is hard for you to accept or understand. I would word it this way. I know this. I know you don't understand or accept my morning routine, or that I don't have them, that I like to sleep in, or whatever it is, Shine. And I would just simply say, I would like to be met with in grace with that. They don't have to see how it's different, right? See how it's different. I'd like you to meet me in grace with that. So because I feel like pushing the vibration of accept. You have to accept. They have to. I want them to accept it. It's only causing more and more arguments. So and and you can this is for all of us. Really, people don't have to accept, and I get it, Shy. That that feeling isn't great, but it comes back to the seeking the validation. Asks to be met in grace. Okay, okay, and don't argue. You've already explained it. It's all right. I know. Okay, you're very welcome. All right, let me hear. Miranda, my sister is going through a rough time. Is there anything I need to know about how to best show up for her? Miranda, I feel like I need to really kind of offer some self-care stuff, like very simple stuff, like let's go for a walk, let's go sit by the water, or whatever it is that self-care is for her, whether it be a massage or a pedicure. I feel like I've got to kind of when we do self-care, it gives us back our power. So I feel a little bit powerless, if that makes sense. I feel like I don't have my power, all of my power. So I feel like I've got to kind of like just kind of very simple stuff, like, let's go for a walk or a drive. Let's go look at whatever it is. And I'm not sure where you're from, but a country drive, even to, just kind of look at the land. Or I just feel like whatever self care means for her, I feel like I've got to tap into that a little bit, right? It can be very simple as, let's grab a thermos of tea, and just go and sit and just kind of count the stars, like whatever self-care kind of means, or whatever you think that she would like, as far as that kind of thing. I feel like that I just feel like I need to come back to my own personal power, and I feel like it's a recharge. There it is. And it will naturally recharge her energy because she's energetically drained, right? So I feel like I need to kind of plug into that from with just a pinch of spirituality, right? To just a pinch, to just kind of give her that space. And it doesn't have to be talking, it doesn't have to be problem solving, it doesn't have to be, dealing with everything that she's dealing with. I need to kind of step out of everything that she's dealing with and just kind of self-care her, just kind of love her up and enjoy the time together. And if you can get some nature time, or some clarity time, or some moon time, or whatever resonates with her, or offer her a new experience with something like that, right? So, I just feel like I have to recharge. Hope that makes sense. Oh, guys, it's almost 9:20. What a beautiful morning to hang out. Watching from the start, Yahoo. Good to see you here. Okay, PJ, Lana, the ultrasound showed intestinal bowel disease for Lola, the cat. I wonder if that is the other thing you were picking up on. So, PJ, when I channel, I don't always remember, especially like a couple days later. I don't remember what I channeled. Um, so if I picked up on something else and something else appeared, um, I'm just going to tap back into that. The ultrasound showed bowel disease for Lola the cat. I wonder if that's the other thing you were picking up on. Very well could be. I also feel, PJ, did the vet talk about management here? I just need to I just feel like there's a space here for a little bit of management, if that makes sense. Thank you so much, Lana. Definitely new direction. I'm getting married soon, shifting my childhood home and starting a new life, asking for all your prayers and blessings. Oh, I love that for you. There's the new light at your feet. Congratulations, by the way. Do any of my three cats, Lola, Boogie, or Linus, have human souls or lived as a human before? And were they with me before? All right, so I will tackle this one. So a soul is a soul. All right. So my experience with working with past life stuff, a soul is a soul, and a soul can have experiences as an animal or as a human. Um, souls are often most souls that we connect with here are part of our soul family. So it is quite possible. I'm pulled to one, PJ, in particular. And I'm pulled more to, I'm pulled more to Boogie. Do you have a different connection with Boogie than the other two cats? I feel like there's a strong, perhaps more past lives, or more of a connection there. And I'm not quite too sure on the other one. One of them feels like a new soul relationship with you. Hope that resonates there with you. All right, you guys. I'm trying to get to as many as I can. Rachel, PJ is a lovely concept. I think to think about. Okay, I want to connect and see if my pup has a past life with me, human or not. When it comes, so when it comes to past lives, so this is the best way I can describe it. So if you have pets, or if you've had other pets in the past, quite often a past life connection, or many past life, if you had many lives with a pet, with a soul, there's not pet, it feels different, right? So I've had a lot of animals over the years, and I've loved them all, in very different ways. Luna and I have an extraordinary relationship. It's extraordinary. Yes, the animal communication is part of that, but it's just a different kind of magic. And I have this knowing that her and I have had experiences before. It feels different, and you just trust that, right? You just trust. It's just like people. You know, when you meet people and it's like, I've known you for 1,000 years. I've known you for 1,000 years. There's that feeling, right? It feels similar to that. I would love to know how old my soul is. You know, I feel, just with tapping in, I feel like you have had many, 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 many experiences. It's more of an experience, it's more of a feeling of experience versus age, is kind of how I can describe it when it comes to where souls are. There are souls that may be quite old, but may not have had as many as experience as somebody who has had more experience. So is there really like a whole new soul or young or old soul? Kind of, but it's more based on experience. Some souls have had multiple and multiple and multiple experiences, and other souls have had less experiences. So that's kind of how I gauge when I feel into that. Is it feels more like you've had multiple, and it feels like they've been back to back. Like, so Ina, do you quite often feel, and not necessarily a physical feeling, it's more of an energetic, like it's almost like my soul feels really tired, like I feel like you've had them back to back, like just like back to back to back. All right. Anybody have a sleepless night? Yes, Diane, that was me. I didn't sleep great last night. I feel like my boogie definitely was a human. Yeah, interesting, eh? Shy, okay, thanks. She's learned that sporadic from Doodle. Okay, perfect. All right, you guys, I have to watch the time. Janelle, good morning, Lana. Any guidance from my spirit guides or ancestors today? I'm going through a trying time. I feel like I need some quiet time in a space that's just yours. I just feel like I need your processor's processing. And I feel like I'm not getting that time to process. So I feel like if it can just be a chair in a corner, it can be under a blanket, it can be outside, anywhere where you can give yourself some time. I feel like I just need it's almost like everything's coming at me so fast. It's almost like I need to slow it down just for a moment so that I can process. I feel like I feel like this has been a thing for a bit too, by the way, Janelle. I feel like I haven't been able to process things for a while. So whether you can sit with a journal for a few minutes, or you can just sit on the grass, or lay on the grass and look up at the sky. I feel like I need to process. I feel like things are going so fast. I also feel quite tight. Like I feel quite tight. Like I don't know if your body's like been sore. But I feel like it's energy that's sitting there that just kind of needs some time to process and move through, if that makes sense there. Uh, okay. Mandy, yes, I understand. And I gave some big decisions and crossed into my sister's lane as she is now in a shelter. Lost her home, and I know I need to stay in my lane, but still family. But still family. I'm stepping back. Mandy, there are so many different ways of helping people. And there's so many different ways of support, and even if it's supporting energetically. So yes, with that breathing, give yourself some time to breathe through that. Happy birthday, Lindsay, fellow Libra. Libra's a beautiful sign, by the way, you guys. Easy Puff, is there a message from my guides or anyone? Because I don't know how to deal with my mom, mom-in-law, mom-in-law, or was that mom-in-law? She's not been taking her medication that straightens her brain chemicals, and she's nearly impossible to deal with. Okay, so Easy Puff, I feel like I need to, and I get it. When it's something like, because she's not the fog in my brain is quite thick when I lean into that. So I feel like continue to support and encourage but I also feel like you need backup. Like I feel like it needs to also come from somebody else. I feel like there's somebody else that she'll listen to, if that makes sense. But I also feel like I can't lose myself in all of this. Like I feel like I've got to say, yes, I understand there's brain stuff and she may not always understand the depth to this, but I think a big part of her does. If that makes sense. Like I feel like she does understand the consequence of it. Continue to support without coming at her. So I feel like I just need to like continue to support, but I feel like I need a backup. I keep saying call. I keep hearing this is what spirits do. Would you call for backup? So, I feel that. I feel like I need to call for backup. So is there someone else that she will listen to or some backup that you can call? Because I feel like when it's coming from you, I get the claw, right? I just get that kind of feeling. Call for backup. Spirit's coming quite funny today. It's gonna be interesting to see how my day goes with the humor. Um, I try so hard to deal with her the right way and kindly, but she drives me mad. What do I do? I want to do the right thing and in kindness. You need to call for backup. There's maybe you'll understand that. Maybe it's not up to me to understand it, but maybe that you'll understand. Is there someone that she'll listen to, without so much friction? Sometimes we can be too close to someone for them to hear us. Right? We can be too close, and I'm sure you can all nod your heads. There are certain people that you're just too close to. They just don't listen. So I need to call for backup there, and I'll send you some love and light and some healing to help you there. They're the ones arguing. I always try to just not engage, but I've always liked to push it. I know it's lack of understanding and it's exhausting. Stop arguing, Shy. Stop arguing. And I just have to, it's like so easy. Stop arguing. And again, Shy, wanting you to accept. And I'm not picking on you, darling. So I hope you can feel that. I love you so much, Shy. But I feel like that wanting to accept. I'm wanting to accept. I want them to accept. I want them to back off. I want them to accept the lack of understanding. I hear you. It's exhausting to have to hear it every day, every dang day. Perfect. But again, I just want them to accept. It comes back into what I talked about, the validation. It's wanting validation. Change how you're handling it. Just shift out of it. Don't pick up that you're picking up their lack of understanding. Do not pick it up. Do not do not pick it up. Shy. And the other thing is when can you look at it just a smidge, just a smidge. Is there a reason why they want you to get up early? Right, right. So if you're not missing on things that you need to do, right? So I just kind of have to say, but don't pick up. They need to accept this. That this is and just stay in it with softness. This is what I need to do in order to feel good. I'm still getting my stuff done. I'm still doing what I need to do. Right. Just kind of take that angle in there. All right, you guys. I'm gonna have to get going soon. Lana, her parents are the ones doing it in corner shy. I understand what you're saying there, but I also feel though that I can't step out of picking it up. I just it's the put and I'm not blaming her at all. It's just about I got to shift out of and they need to accept it. And I feel when she changes the energy on that, they'll shift with it. Just try a different angle. Sometimes we have to try a different angle with people. And so I no, because she's 19. I'm not sure where that is. Just try in their eyes. I'll probably don't get a lot done in a day because I always get stuff done when they're not seeing it happen. I understand them. It doesn't make it less annoying. It is going to. it is going to be annoying, but just shift how you're handling it. Sometimes, like it comes back down to Shy, we can't force people to shift. We can't, right? We cannot force them to. It's just like nobody can force me to shift. I can only change my I'm the only one that can change my perspective no matter what anybody says to me. And I just feel like I've got to kind of shift how you're handling it, shift how you're looking at it, just shift it a bit. And I feel like when you shift a little bit, then they're going to shift a little bit, if that makes sense. I know it's hard when it's family, you guys. I truly do. It's just shift how you're looking at it. Get out of the vibration of arguing. Okay? All right. Okay, you guys. I do have to get moving along. I'm spending a little extra time because Monday's the holiday here, and I won't be on Monday morning. Mom's quite stubborn. I've learned over time that but I do love them though. Absolutely. All right, you guys. It's got an angel number 407. Heaven is giving you a strong sign that you're heading in a positive direction. Keep going. Let's do another one. 431. The more positive your thoughts are, the more easily you can hear the loving and supportive guidance of the angels and ascended masters. I love that. I love that. All right, let's set some intentions. Chipmunk. The little chipmunk. I love chipmunks. Trust that you're well protected and that there's no real danger you'll have to face. Be curious and willing to investigate anything of interest. What did I say about that? Pursue your goals actively with passion. Oh, I love that. Um, Sorry, I lost my spot. There we go. Go out for walks, and when you do, take the time to pause and explore anything that attracts your attention, from the tiniest pebble or flower to the vista that's on the horizon. Once you've completed a creative piece or project, keep it to yourself for a few weeks before revealing it to others. That's a big one for me. I don't share until I'm ready. Pay more attention to the vocal characteristics of those you encounter, volume, pitch, and inflection, rather than the actual words, as a way of discerning more about the person than speech alone reveals. So in the beginning of the energy update, I talked about how things feel rather than the words. Right? Wow, I love that. I love that so much. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. I had my first piece of pumpkin pie last night. I love pumpkin pie. I love pie. So there was a little celebration here last night, birthday celebration, for one of my family members, and the pumpkin pie. Looking forward to hitting the ground running when I get back to Canada. I mean, when you coming back? I can't remember what date you said you were coming back. I can't wait to see you. I've missed you. Um, Yeah, so pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin pie. I also made a butternut squash soup, and it was delicious. The whole pot got eaten yesterday. I thought there might have been some leftovers for lunch today, but it was too good. I did too good of a job. So I love fall. I love fall cooking, and I love the fall vegetables, and I love the fall smells. And I'm a big pumpkin person, so I'm probably going to eat pumpkin for the next 3 days because I love pumpkin so much. Yeah, so and I also hope I'm getting some outdoor time. I really need to be outside. It's going to get cold here soon, so I'm looking forward to that. I will see you all next week. Oh, I should probably take a look. Let's see what I'm doing. I know Monday being the Thanksgiving holiday, I will not be here, but let's see if I can squeeze in a Wednesday. Well, that's the wrong one. It's uncertain. If I can get on Wednesday, I'll try. Okay, I'll do my best to get on, but Wednesday is looking quite tight because of the holiday. So I will do my best, and then I have an event next week as well. So I will do my best to pop on Wednesday. If not, I will be here on Friday. But a week seems too long. I don't know if I can go a whole week without popping on here, but I'll see. As always, I'm wishing you love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided day. Take care, you guys. Much love.